Mojang has a list of hidden secrets you never knew about Minecraft. So let's head into the past and look at some of the game's biggest secret lore. Due to massive abandoned structures in the Minecraft world, such as the ocean monuments, jungle and desert temples, ancient cities, and sunken ships, it has been widely speculated by players and theorists such as MatPat from Game Theory that there must have been an accident civilization of builders who once populated the Minecraft world. Interdimensional travel structures such as the abandoned nether portals and end portal frames and underground strongholds seems to imply that these builders also managed to travel and explore the other worlds. So for whatever reason or another, they have all since wiped out. Before piglins were added to the game during the 1.16 Minecraft Nether update, zombie pigmen existed in the Nether. Now known as zombified piglins, these undead versions of the hog-like humanoid race still populate the Nether. What you might have not known is that if you take a normal piglin to the overworld, it will start to suffocate and turn into a zombified piglin, implying that whatever virus or curse that turned the piglin race into zombies didn't originate in the Nether, but it somehow started in the overworld. The same thing happened to hoglins if they travel to the overworld, turning into zoglins on after a few seconds. Fossils are rare. Massive skeletal skull and spinal structures composed of bone blocks that can be found randomly generated underneath the desert, swamp, and mangrove swamp biomes. They can also sometimes be found to be attached to coal and diamond ore blocks, which makes sense because in the real world, when something dies and is buried deep beneath the earth, the carbon atoms in the creature can start to condense into either diamonds or coal due to millions of years of intense pressure. This means that there used to be huge creatures that once populated the Minecraft world, possibly millions of years before any of us arrived. Added in the 1.16 Nether update, you can also find fossils in the soul sand valleys of the Nether that are different in appearance to their overworld counterparts. Instead, the YouTuber Wiffies has suggested that these fossils resemble the lower half of a wither's torso. Their presence in a soul sand valley, an important ingredient in the construction of a wither, also points to the fact that we were not the first people to ever try and summon a wither. Someone else must have made their way into the Nether and learned just how devastating a wither can be for themselves. When asked on Twitter about the name of the Ender Dragon, Notch jokingly replied that her name was Jean, which was later once again suggested when Dinnerbone, a Minecraft game developer, replied to DocM77 on Twitter, stating that he believed her name was supposed to be Jean. And yes, the dragon is canonically a she, as confirmed by Mojang. The fact that she lays eggs is a good side of that too. For some unknown reason, maybe by a curse on the overworld, Minecraft lightning just has some strange magical properties. As you know, lightning has a ton of crazy effects on mobs. It can turn villagers into witches, pigs into zombified piglins, a creeper into a supercharged creeper, red mushrooms into brown mushrooms, and brown mushrooms into red. Lightning also has the chance to summon 4 skeleton horsemen with enchanted bows, and causing turtles to drop bows when they die from the strike. There are a lot of properties of the soul sand block that make it appear like there are actually souls trapped inside the block. For one, the block texture itself looks like it's covered in souls. For two, the soul sand can be used to create a water elevator that pushes you forward, almost like the block emits some kind of soul energy. Third, when you walk across the block, and also soul soil with soul speed enchantment, the animation and sound effects that come with the speed boost seem to imply that the enchantment is actually releasing the souls that are trapped within the block. One interpretation of this is that when you walk upon them without soul speed, the souls pull you down, begging to be released. But when you walk on them with the enchantment, the released souls push you forward as a thank you for releasing them from the inside. This is kinda dark, but it makes sense if you remember that the Nether is kinda supposed to be Minecraft's version of the HG double hockey sticks. You may know villagers as the grey, evil variants of Minecraft villagers who reside in pillager outposts and woodland mansions, or you might see them patrolling in groups or even raiding entire Minecraft villages. What you might not have known is the tragic backstory as to why the evokers, vindicators, and pillagers hate the villagers so much. According to the game developer Jens from Mojang, villagers were outcasted from villager society, and according to Minecraft's famous mob bestiary book, they were exiled because they used to do unspeakable things to villager kind, which is what fuels the endless campaign to destroy villager kind and steal all their belongings. Maybe if the villagers and illagers could have just come to an understanding, they wouldn't be constantly at war with each other like they are today. Ancient cities found within the deep dark might have some of the richest lore in all of Minecraft. From what we can tell, the frame that can be found at the center of ancient cities, just composed by reinforced deep state blocks that cannot be mined or found anywhere else in the game, is shaped like a warden head, along with tons of other warden imagery that can be found around the ancient city, implying as though the ancient people who once lived there worshipped the warden. After reviewing the game file names of the structures, Minecrafters have been able to deduce that the frame in the center of the room is most likely, you guessed it, a portal. The fact that the city is now overrun by skulk in the presence of a mysterious portal seems to suggest that the warden and the skulk seem to have come from another dimension entirely. Another dimension we don't have access to yet, but maybe someday we will. It's a well-known fact by now that Notch was inspired to create the idea for the creeper when he accidentally inverted the height and length of a a mob model when he was creating the Minecraft pig. But have you ever wondered what exactly a creeper really is within the world of Minecraft? According to Notch, he imagines that the creeper might be made out of leaves, almost like the creeper's part animal, part plant. As for how they explode, the mob theory shows that the creeper actually has a small block of TNT within its chest. Dinnerbone has suggested that creepers might explode because they are super nervous and shake a whole lot, rattling around the TNT inside of them and causing them to detonate, like rubbing two pieces of firewood together. The fact that creepers contain a man-made block such as TNT may suggest that the creeper was either created by humans or some kind of sentient plant grew around some TNT blocks, eventually merging into one being and evolving into a creature we all know now and hate. On to another fact about mob anatomy. There's actually a really cool Easter egg that you can access when you go into spectator mode. In this mode, you have the option of looking at the world from the perspectives of the mobs within the game, and we can learn a few interesting things about how certain mobs see the Minecraft world. When assuming seeing through the eyes of mobs, we learn that creepers see the entire world in shades of green. The spider and cave spiders see the world from multiple different angles due to their 8 eyes, and perhaps the coolest of them all, Endermen actually see the world through inverted colors. We all know blazers. They are those super hot guys who reside in nether fortresses and drop the blaze rods you really need to make blaze powder for all of your potion brewing needs. But what are blazers really? Well, according to an article on Minecraft.net by Duncan Green, Minecraft scholars have a good reason to believe that blazes were actually created by the old builders to serve as guards to the nether fortress. But over time, the blazers took control of the fortress and wiped out all of the original builders. Talk about a sick burn. Have you ever wondered where the spawner blocks come from? I mean, we can't craft them. Spawner blocks appear to populate in areas that need a lot of protection from looters and raiders, such as nether fortresses, underground dungeons, strongholds, mineshafts, and woodland mansions, leading me to believe that the old builders created the mob spawning blocks to protect their treasures. Think about it. Silverfish protect the end portal, skeletons, zombies, and spiders protect the loot in dungeons, blazers protect nether fortresses, and so on and so forth. We all love iron golems, loyal protectors to both our bases and villagers alike. Did you know that according to the lore as described by Jens, the iron golem actually resembles the appearance of a villager with his big nose and unibrow, because villagers were actually the original creators of the golems. No, the golems didn't just spawn there or wander into town, at least when concerning to the lore. Jens has stated that villagers created iron golems to protect them because they have no arms or ways to hold weapons. It seems we've really underestimated the abilities of the villagers, considering they can create a mob as strong as that. We all love ourselves the adorable little old allies. These little sprites can only be found trapped by the illagers in woodland mansion dungeons and in cages outside of pillager outposts. Rescue one and give it an item, and it might bring more dropped items of the same kind back to you. According to Mojang, the first time you give an item to an ally, you form a magical bond with the creature, making you unable to hurt it while swinging around your pickaxe during mining, your axe during lumberjacking, or your sword during combat. This magical connection was intended to keep the ally from getting in the player's way as it flies around. I wish that my Minecraft dog had this kind of connection, because I can't even tell you how many times I've accidentally pressed the wrong button while trying to give my Minecraft dog steak. We all think that the default player characters, Steve and Alex, don't really have much lore to them, and for good reason. Mojang has always been about players creating their own lore within the game of Minecraft instead of forcing their own lore into the players. However, we may have learned a few more things about Steve and Alex in a 2016 entry of Lego Club magazine. According to the magazine, Steve and Alex are actually a couple, with Steve being their best miner and alchemist, while Alex excels in exploring and hunting. They really are Minecraft's biggest OG power couple.